Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD and I'm coming at you guys with game number 3 between Alternate Attacks Socke and Team SCV Life's Killer. This is going to be, of course, Protoss versus Protoss matchup, as you guys all remember from the first 2 games. And I promise you guys this is going to be the best of the best. I've been looking for the best of the best games from IPL qualifiers, and I promise you guys this third one certainly going to be a blast. So we have Socke here, going to be the blue Protoss at the... what position would this be? The 9 o'clock position, and TSL Killer going to be the red Protoss down at the 6. So we are going to have a close spawn by air for both these players, which it doesn't really matter too much actually. In Protoss versus Protoss, you can spawn right next to each other, or you can spawn across each other from Tower to Rim Altar and beyond. The thing about Protoss versus Protoss is, you know, that proxy pylon essentially eliminates all the terrain in between. So what you've got is a teleporter system, a teleportation system that allows you to go from your base to your opponent's base in the blink of an eye. And you know, it just basically makes it so that terrain doesn't play too much of a factor. So anyways, with that in mind, we'll have to see what both these players gear up to do. We've already seen Socke favor this early Nexus strategy in both of these games so far. It is currently tied up 1-1 as well, guys, so the winner of this third game is going to go on. The loser gets knocked out. And they did pay 20 bucks to compete in this, so losing would not be good. Winning would mean you've got a shot at, I don't know, 100k. That's a lot of money. So we'll have to see. Killer here, excuse me, Socke here, certainly looking for cheese at this moment, just scouting all around with this early probe, very aware and maybe a little extra cautious. I guess he thinks that Killer has the capability of cheesing him in the third game. I don't know, maybe proxy 2 gate or something like that. So he's being very thorough right now with that initial probe. But I think he's going to breathe a little bit of a sigh here and realize that it is a standard opening from Killer, who has a gateway, a cybernetics core, 1 gas. Second probe takes the second gas while that probe comes inside the main, so Socke will not have the option of stealing the gas. Although we didn't see him do it in the first game or the second game. So I don't think Socke is the type of player that... that's too concerned about the gas steal. Killer, though, on the other hand, may do that again. And he's bringing that probe in. Now, Socke realizing from the last game, yeah, he got his gas stolen. Will he make sure that gas doesn't get stolen a second time, or is he going to let it happen? A lot of that also came down to Killer's strategy. Killer wanted to go for the Dark Templar opening, and if you limit your opponents to a single gas, then that certainly makes it less likely for them to have an observer out on the field. So I guess this time Killer isn't going to get that second gas, which kind of indicates that he probably won't go for Dark Templars again. He's doing a full scout right now. Both players doing a full scout, in fact. 2 gateways coming up so far for each side. No, just 1 gateway for Socke. Oh my god, is Socke saving up for a Nexus? Oh, okay, alright, I was gonna say, that is some bold stuff right there. I think he was just waiting for the probe to leave the base, and he is gonna go for a 4 gate. I thought he was gonna go 1 gate Nexus. I was like, dude, that is so insane. I don't even know if you could pull it off, but if you do, you're my hero. But he is gonna go for a 4 gate here, very common. And what is Killer gonna do? Is he gonna do a 4 gate of his own, checking the back of his steam vents there for a possible pylon? But so far hasn't indicated his strategy, and you know what? He's only got 2 gateways. His warp gate is a little bit behind Socke's as well. I can't help but feel that his production could get overrun by Socke. And Socke here has a ticket to just take this game right now. He's got a pylon coming up in the middle. He's going to be able to warp right to the low ground. He's got 4 gateways worth of production in just a second here. And Killer's only got 2, guys. This is not looking bueno at all. Oh my god, I don't know if Killer's going to be able to hold this off. Now the thing is, it is a map where you have the defender's advantage with the sentry and the ramp. So, you know, Killer can force field this off, but if Socke is allowed to build a pylon on the low ground, get a unit up the ramp, he can then warp zealots in right onto the high ground. You guys can see Socke now building a pylon, building 2 just in case, because he knows 1 could get popped off. Will he cancel? Doesn't get the cancel off on that pylon, I don't think. Another pylon going up here, but the force field keeping the units from walking up, and that means that Socke does not have vision of the high ground. He will not be able to warp units in. I don't even know if he's going to get this pylon up. Very good play right here from Killer. Killer is just so good with those force fields, and he's going to warp in 2 additional sentries. With 4 sentries, you can indefinitely force field the ramp. It looks like the pylon, this pylon may end up going up, and let me tell you guys, if that pylon goes up, then zealots will start warping right next to these stalkers, and that is not a good day for those stalkers. That pylon has to be canceled. Socke unable to execute the 4-gate, and Killer only played with 2 gateways. He is going to be significantly ahead, I feel like, because he's going to have so much more gas. I think he can tech up much harder, but oh my god, a couple of Stalkers coming up here. The pylon does have coverage. It just barely warps in a Zealot right there. Very tense situation right now. If Killer can hold this ramp, then I think he's in a good spot. Socke is trying to just excrete what amount of damage that he can possibly do. He's trying to meet it out right now, and I don't think he can. Killer is just too good with that sentry, and now adding on 2 production facilities of his own, and this entire time he's been mining off of 2 gas, so the tech advantage here swinging for Killer. He's going to go right into a Twilight Council. Kills off the pylon at the front as well. Killer's army, I feel like, a little bit larger, and oh my god, Socke has to pull back with everything. That attack was just a devastating set of moves that just did not result in any economic damage. He didn't kill any sentries, he didn't really kill that many forces. If anything, Socke committed a lot and really didn't come out with that much of a payoff. So what is his options now? Gonna go right into a Twilight Council, and I say this time and time again, when in doubt, Dark Templars. That's what Protoss players should do every single time. You never know, man. It's kind of like rolling the dice. And if you can get it in there with that Dark Templar and hope your opponent doesn't have detection, you might end up winning a game. You never know. So we'll see if he goes for Blink or if he goes for Dark Templar. Could be either or. And speaking of rolling the dice, I'm probably rolling a bunch of dice right now at Atlantic City, yo. You guys should be tuning in and watching. I'm going to be casting that live with the Pain User from October 6th through October 9th. Can't say it enough. It's going to be huge. My hugest event as of yet, so I hope you guys all support me. Certainly would mean a lot. But anyways, what do we have coming here for Socke? It is a Dark Templar, Dark Shrine, Dark Templar, Dark Shrine, whatever. Dark Building, Dark Templar Building. And he still has that pylon at the gold, so he could warp in some units, although I think that pylon's going to get picked off, so I don't think he's going to be able to warp Dark Templar right here. But he's going to build another pylon right here, and that will give him access to the low ground where that lamp is, where that street post is, and he can then, of course, work in some DTs. Now, does Killer have a robotics bay? No. Uh-oh. He doesn't have any detection at all. No forge, no cannons, no mobile detection in form of the Observer, and the Dark Shrine is on the way. It's still about a minute away from finishing, so Socke's gotta hold the ramp here against Killer's concerted attack. Will Socke be able to do this? Because if these forces are allowed up into the main, then all of a sudden, Socke's in a lot of trouble. Is Socke gonna try to hold this off? A couple of force fields coming down here. I don't know about those force fields. I don't know how helpful those are, but more force fields, that's gonna lock those Stalkers in. I kinda like those. Gonna keep those Stalkers in the front when the front force fields wear off, and that will give Killer the chance to pick them off. But it looks like Killer's concave, not as good as Socke's, and Socke able to hold the frontal line. And that's huge because his Dark Shrine is about to come up. And here we are, the Dark Shrine is ready. Is he gonna warp in some Dark Templars? Yes, he warps in one to the low ground. Killer still does not have any form of detection, also warps in one at the front as well, and that Dark Templar is gonna start to slash away at these Stalkers. Oh my god, Killer going with an offensive blink here. He knows he's got more Stalkers, but does he realize there's a Dark Templar here hacking and slashing away at his Stalker army? I don't know if he does. More Dark Templars warping in, 2 now defending, and 1 on the offense. That 1 on the offense has made its way inside the probe line, and all of a sudden, guys, we have a base race situation, and Killer realizing, oh man, I need some detection. He makes a robotics facility in the middle, in the gold. I like that, because if he had made it inside his main, it would have been vulnerable to the Dark Templar, and the Dark Templar could have picked it off before the robotics facility finished. So he needs an Observer right now, and as soon as he gets the obs, he should be fine. But right now, those 2 DTs certainly doing their damage worth in gold. And so is this guy, man. 14 kills on that Dark Templar alone. That is amazing. And Socke here looking pretty good, although maybe not the best. I mean, he lost a lot of Harvesters. He just lost almost everything except for 1 Harvester. Wow, so maybe Socke is actually in a huge deficit right now, and you know, Killer saved most of his probes. He's establishing a nexus at the 12, and honestly, all he needs is an observer, and he'll be fine. And oh my god, though, the pylon powering the robotics facility gets picked off. Unbelievable by Socke. Socke finds the robotics facility and unpowers it while the Observer was being chrono boosted, and now he's trying to push these Stalkers away. And of course, Killer bringing another pylon. He has to power this up. He's got to power the robotics facility, but a Dark Templar already sent to take out that pylon, and the pylon will not be able to power the Robobay. The Robobay now taking damage, and I cannot believe this. I mean, at the end of the day, Killer does not have detection, and I don't think he's going to get it. That robotics facility is going to get killed off. And Socke now, I mean, yeah, he doesn't have that much harvesters. He's got 0 harvesters, but he's got the unit advantage in terms of technology and power. It's the Dark Templar, man. If there's no detection on the map, they're unstoppable. And Killer's got to mine enough resources to get another robotics facility up, and that's a lot. He's got to mine gas, he's got to mine minerals, build the robotics facility as well. That is going to be a long time coming, and meanwhile, he is trying to pick off all the buildings of Socke with these stalkers. Now, theoretically speaking, if Killer can pick off all these buildings, then he can win the game, yes, because there's no probes for Socke. Socke cannot reconstruct any more buildings, but the problem here is that Killer's got to dodge that Dark Templar, and he's already lost 1. He may end up losing 2 here if he's not careful. Blinks out of the way. And if we look at the units tab, 3 DTs on the field for Socke, 4 stalkers, 2 sentries on the field for Killer. Killer here trying to outdance that Dark Templar to pick off all the buildings. This is an incredible game. Meanwhile, a Dark Templar has still stayed inside the main. It's still hacking away at Killer's main. And another DT, the 3rd and final DT, found its way to the Ninja 12 o'clock Expo. I don't know if it's going to see the robotics bay, though, and that could be huge. If he doesn't see that, then an observer can come out. And there's just action occurring right now all over the map. Both players are in a very, very frantic, hectic situation. And this is what I was talking about, guys. He loses a stalker. That's huge. That's 25% of his DPS going down. Almost lost the 3rd one as well. Thankfully, though, Killer did kill off that Nexus. So I guess 1 building down, about, I don't know, 15 more to go. But there is the robotics facility, guys. Oh my god, but does Killer have enough gas? He's trying to mine gas right now to get enough for the observer. And he loses every single one. He's lost all of his probes. I don't know if he got enough gas for the observer. I don't think he did. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's at 41 gas. He does not have enough gas for an observer right now, and he doesn't have enough minerals for probes either, and he loses one of his nexuses. He loses the final nexus, and that's it. Killer's got no chance to make any detection in this game, and his only hope at winning this game is to micro these 3 potentially hero stalkers inside the main of Socke and pick off every single building, and that's his only hope. Now, he does have 2 sentries as well, and that can be helpful. He could force field the Dark Templar outside of the main, but the Dark Templar has already made its way in, and Killer, realizing that, has to blink out. He's not going to try to dance with fire today. But of course, Killer's time is limited. Eventually, all his buildings are going to get picked off. Ooh, every slash there hurts so much, especially on the stalkers that don't have any shields. And these 2 DTs right now trying to find their way in. Now, oh my god, Killer has the sentries here. He can force field the ramp indefinitely. He's gonna blink right into the main. Now, maybe not indefinitely, guys. He only has got 2 sentries, so he can force field the ramp for some time, replacing the first field with the second force field, because the first one was a little off. And now he's got a time to kill off as many buildings as possible, but he's got to keep that ramp force fielded. He does not have infinite energy. He's got to play his cards right here, and let's see how many buildings he can actually pick off. This is just an incredible game. The second DT has been called from the front. All the DTs have been called back, in fact, because Socke realizes how dangerous of a situation this is. He could potentially lose the game here. The sentry's continuing to lay down the force fields, but you know what? Eventually, they will run out of energy, ladies and gentlemen. What a game here of StarCraft 2. This is one of the most entertaining Protoss versus Protoss matches I have ever seen. Those 3 DTs cannot get up the ramp. The force field will be replaced at the very last second. Just great timing from Killer here, knowing exactly when to throw down the next force field, and just being as efficient as possible. But energy is running out, and what the heck? I didn't know there was a zealot on the field. Where did that guy come from? Alright, so Killer has a random zealot. Or Socke has a random zealot actually on the map. I had no idea he had a zealot. Anyways, so it's 1 zealot, 3 DTs versus 3 stalkers, 2 sentries, and that is it. Buildings are going down for Socke though. Socke in trouble, but it looks like the sentries have run out of energy, and that is it. The 3 DTs are allowed to run inside the main, and oh my god, Killer could lose his sentries. That's huge. Loses 1. The second one gets surrounded. He loses the second sentry as well, so he will not be able to play that same tactic he was doing before, and he's got to blink out of here. He's got to get out. He cannot continue to fight. And so he pulls away, and now the Zealot has been sent on attack duty. So at this point, I guess it's 2 DTs on defense, maybe 3, and 1 Zealot on the offensive. And Killer here pulls his 3 Stalkers back, doesn't want to lose any buildings here. This is the definition of a base race. If you look this up in the dictionary, what is a base race? Socke versus Killer, qualifier, IPO qualifier number 3. Protoss versus Protoss and Metalopolis. That is a base race. So the Zealot does go down, and the Assimilator survives. And Socke wisely, okay, he's very wisely sending one DT back into the main here of Killer. He knows eventually, over time, he will be able to win the game. All he's got to do is leave his DTs back home to defend and just send one off on the offensive. And eventually he's going to win this game. Unless Killer's micro is just insanely good and he can dodge 2 Hidden Dark Templar with 3 Stalkers. I don't know if that's going to happen though. I don't even know how he sees that pylon, in fact. That's kind of weird. Okay, well, he killed off that pylon, which is a little weird. But, alright, let's see. Oh, the problem here, though, oh my god, this is bad. Socke has 2 DTs on hold position. That means these Stalkers, I don't think they can get in, guys. I don't think these Stalkers can get in unless, like, one walks up and they get enough vision behind to blink over those 2 Dark Templar. That's really the only way here for Socke to hold that down. Actually, Socke, if he was smart, well, he is a very smart guy. If he was thinking a little bit more here, I think he would put the DTs right next to the low ground. That should be able to keep the Stalkers from visioning the high ground at the best. But yeah, Killer here trying to pick off buildings on the perimeter. For some reason, he is having a little vision right now. But time is running out, guys. Eventually, Socke's gonna pop all these buildings off. Okay, 1 DT was sent from the ramp to deal with the Stalkers. Good micro from Killer. Killer gonna pick off the Dark Templar Shrine? No, not quite. And remember, every time that Killer does not pick off the building, the shields will still regenerate. And Killer's got to be careful here. Oh, he's taking permanent damage on the hull of those Stalkers. You got to be so careful in this situation. All permanent damage will never be repaired for Stalkers. And he's just gonna have to wait for shields to regenerate. Essentially, that permanent life is your last lifeline. You don't want to use it all up because it ain't gonna heal up. So Killer's got to be very careful how he plays his cards here. I don't even know if he can do it, man. As Korean as he is, as godly as Koreans are, I don't even think Boxer could do this if he was in this situation. How do you out-micro 2 Dark Templar with 3 Stalkers? I just don't know. It's so hard to do, especially if you look at his vision, all he sees are blurs. It's extra hard like this, man. I wonder if he's just playing straight up like this right now, maybe just zoomed in, because that has got to be so annoying. Oh, man. And you guys all know, it's so sad, it just came down to a little bit more gas. He just needed an ounce of more gas and he could have got the Observer out. But Socke had a Dark Templar waiting here at the assimilators. Anyways, the Killer has made his way in here with the main and with the 3 Stalkers. He knows what he needs to do now. Very well blinked right there. Stays away from the Dark Templar. He's got to keep playing this game of musical chairs, so, oh my god, he's taking damage. Every single time he takes a blast like that, it's just, it pulls at my heartstrings. Because the permanent damage will never be repaired, and he's got to be so careful. He's popping the buildings off slowly but surely, but this is such an APM intensive game. I mean, he's got to be on the seat of his pants right now. This is so intense, guys. Will Killer be able to pull this out? Oh my god, one of his Stalkers! Oh, what a blink at the very last second. That was clutch right there. I mean, if he had lost that Stalker, I don't even know if he would have a chance in hell. 2 Stalkers against 2 DTs? I don't think so. Anyways, all these Stalkers in the red, guys. Oh my god! Oh, 1 HP on that Stalker. Killer doing a great job microing. He picks off the Warp Gate. Unbelievable micro, but he's running away now. He just doesn't want to deal with it anymore. He's got to recharge his shields. Meanwhile, Dark Templar in the main of Socke still slashing away. In the main of Killer, excuse me, still slashing away. Oh no, Killer may just be throwing up the white flag here. TT, tears rolling down his face. You can't blame him though. I mean, this is such a demanding matchup. This is so demanding on your ability to micro, your attention span. You would be just having a migraine after playing this for 5 minutes or so. I wouldn't even want this to be a custom game in StarCraft 2. That's how intense it would be. It just wouldn't even be fun. But Socke here continuing to hack and slash. Killer knows what he needs to do, and so he's sworn to his sacred duty. He's sending these 3 Stalkers in. They have one job and one job only, to kill off all the buildings of Socke or die trying. Will they be able to do it? This Stalker could go down. Oh my god, it's so close. He blinks away, and he's gonna use the assimilator nook and cranny to try to stay away from the DTs, but oh my god, no, he loses the Stalker. Killer loses a Stalker, and Killer calls it GG. Well played, Killer. Well played. I salute you for that game. What a Protoss versus Protoss. Killer trying his best there, but at the end, man, I don't think anyone could do that. That is so damn hard to do. And Socke busting out the comeback victory in Game 3 here. You know, he was behind after that 4-gate, went straight for a Dark Templar Shrine, and it paid off huge. What a game. What a game. May that Stalker forever go down in the annals of StarCraft 2 Boudoir history as the most heroic Stalker ever. Call him Sam the Stalker. Sam the Stalker, I salute you, man, and the rest of your brothers. Well done, valiantly fought. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. I'm gonna have more games coming out, and I hope you guys are tuning into Atlantic City. Make sure to watch the streams from October 6th through October 9th. You guys can watch it on Team Liquid. You can watch it on www.ign.com/IPL. I will be posting on my Facebook updates as well, so if you guys follow me on Facebook or Twitter, then you guys will get an update and a link as to where you can follow it. And this is your broadcaster, HD, signing out.